if you follow the Shade Room, Justin LeBoy, anything like that, I guarantee you will not be able to sit in the room with me and my friends. I know God did not tell you to pick up that ARP, bro, and walk people down. I know God didn't tell you that, right? Right. Everything you're doing at 25 is going to be your life at 30. So if you're 30 years old and you're unhappy with your life, blame the 25-year-old you.
Lord, reveal the truth of what my brother say. You can't pray for change when deep inside you remain the same. Shackless as I wanna be, yet I find me still in chains. From the land I want me free, but inside I'm still a slave.
Welcome. This is No Margin for Error. I'm your host, Jathan Spalding, also known as J3. This is episode 1. We will cover a lot of interesting topics this week. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the little bell so you get a notification every time I post, every time I drop. You'll be the first one to tune in and tap in. So with all that being said, let's get going. A little introduction about myself. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I attended Lawrence North High School. I graduated in 2021. And then from there, I went into Morehouse College. 2021, I graduated last year, 2025, in accounting. I got a job within my major and everything else. And being in school, I was able to make a lot of friends, learn a lot of life skills, be exposed to a lot of things I didn't even know like existed. And that brings us to first topic, college being a scam. When I was a junior in high school, I was playing basketball, right? And a lot of people had hoop dreams. I was pretty good. I had hoop dreams though. And so I think junior year when I was like, I'm good, but like the schools that I could go to, I wouldn't want to go there for education. And so I had aspirations of getting my CDLs and everything else, and becoming a truck driver, right? Because they make pretty good money. A big issue within our community, black community, is we're not exposed to a lot of things. We don't know a lot of things that exist, as far as occupation, different job opportunities, different things you can start on yourself. You don't necessarily need a job, right? And so therefore it limits your opportunity, limits your opportunity to grow, limits your brain, limits a lot of things, right? And so I told people at Morehouse College, because my mom, she always like, you gotta go to Morehouse, you gotta go to Morehouse, right? She always pushed me to do better and achieve and everything else. But I didn't know much of Morehouse. I was very ignorant to it. She made me watch these videos of like different stuff they'll do, and it just like a boot camp to me. I was really ignorant to what Morehouse College was and everything else. And I just wasn't that much interested. I was still young, dumb. I was very ignorant. And so came senior year, all I cared about was money, right? I didn't really care about opportunities, growth, or anything else. I was money hungry. And so senior year, I had a job at Costco, and I worked at Costco for some years. But I had a job at Costco. I was making decent money for like a high schooler, right? I was making like $18 an hour. And my plan was I'll just go to school nearby and everything else. Whoever throw the most money, I'll go there and I'll still keep my job here. At the time, UIndy, they threw me almost a full ride scholarship to their school. And that sounded like a good deal to me, right? And my mom, she was not messing with that. She was like, no, you know what I'm saying? So I applied to other schools, you know what I'm saying? I applied like NCAT just because it was a black school. I applied to Clark. That was in Atlanta. I thought that was cool. And I applied to Morehouse, made my mom happy. And I applied to like all the schools surrounding Indiana and everything else. I got into every school I applied to, but UIndy was the only one that threw money. And I haven't heard back from Morehouse or Clark at the time. So I got accepted to Clark. Oh, that's hard. I'll be in Atlanta, everything else, right? Wasn't thinking smart. And So I got accepted to Clark. It was, you feel me? I didn't really care. I looked up to see how much it cost. I said, yeah, I'm not going there. And so, my mom was just like, you should apply Morehouse. I was like, yeah. So I got accepted to Morehouse. My mom was so excited, bro. And it was very expensive. And she's talking about she liable to sell her house and everything else like that. I'm like, okay. So she willing to sell her house. She want me to go here, right? I'm like, UIndy right here. I go to UIndy for almost free. Work, keep my job here, become a truck driver. I had it all planned out as I thought, right? You know the saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, right? And so it's funny. This is the first time in life that I ain't gonna say I let go, cause I'm very controlling my life. This is the first time I really trusted God in something big like this. So I went portal, this and that, Morehouse portal, look for different scholarships and everything else. I was applying, and I was telling my friend, the only way I'm going if I get the scholarship. You know what I'm saying? My mama ain't selling her house, and so boom, glory be God, man. I got the full ride scholarship to Morehouse, And you feel me? At that point, you gotta be pretty dumb not to go. And so got the full ride. It was set in stone. I knew I was going. My mom was happy. Everybody was happy and everything else. Boom. So I know that was a long prelude and everything else, but it's important what I'm about to get into, right? Because my mom asked me, okay, she's in the portal, she's doing anything for me because I didn't really know. She's like, what do you want your major to be? I didn't know nothing about major minors, and I didn't really know much. I didn't know much. You know, I hear different things. I didn't know nothing. I know it's like what you want to study most of the time, right? And I don't know if other people that are in high school, juniors, seniors, or even people that took gap years are in a similar predicament and everything else. But what I say is, please do your due diligence. Due diligence. Do your research. You know what I'm saying? Because your major is that big of a deal. It's your trajectory in life, right? You know, if you're thinking of pursuing, you feel me, a career, this and that, if you're going to school for a career and everything else, please major in something smart, right? Because this gets into the college is a scam bit, right? College is only a scam if you major in something. I don't want to say dumb because I know there's a lot of viewers out there that majored in something that might be passionate about this and that. But I mean, if y'all living in the economy I'm living in right now, you know, I think it would be fair to say it could be dumb if you major in different things. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if you come from a background where you have it, this and that, you're not really needing for much, this and that. I was in a predicament where like, hey, I need to get out of here, the city. I mean, I need to do something with myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. So I didn't know much at the time. So what your major would be? Like I said, all I care about was money. I said, hey, money, whatever make money. So there's a lot of stuff that make money. It's this and this and this. And I was like, I want to start a truck driving business. So do business. Business is an option. She's like, yeah, actually. And so the different like concentrations, like management, accounting, finance, this and that. I ain't know nothing about nothing. I'm like, hey, I want to manage something. I want to be a man. I want to own a business. You know what I'm saying? So I was like management, right? And so keep that in mind, right? I was very ignorant going into school, you feel me, partying, this and that, everything else. And it wasn't until I believe in the freshman year or beginning of sophomore year, right? I had a 3.0 just enough to keep my full ride. Anyways, part of business, this and that, you have to take different finance classes. So I had to take accounting. And a very special professor I met, you know, she went around the class and everybody asked everybody concentration and everything else. And she was an accounting professor. She was like, I know where my accounts are, this and that, because they're all sitting in the front of the class, and me, I was in the back. And she was like, I know everybody else that's just majoring in dumb stuff is sitting in the back and everything else, right? And people were getting offended, right? I have tough skin, you know what I'm saying? The school I went to was very unique because it had a lot of kids that came from a lot of backgrounds, but from my experience, a lot of them came from like a more privileged background, and so they weren't used to being talked to how this professor talked, right? And so this professor was being really like authentic, you know. She was just like going down the line. What you major in? Cooking? Yeah, good luck. What you major in? Oh, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Dance. Why you in my class? You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was so harsh to people at the time. It was like she was really going down the line, like really. And she was like, "Oh, business major, management." Which it was like you feel me? She came to me and she was like, "What's your major?" I was like, "I'm business." And she was like, "What's your concentration?" I was like, "Management." She was like, oh, "Okay, Burger King up the street, they need some managers." And she went to the next dude. You feel me? I'm like, "What?" And people were getting mad. People getting their stuff together. Some people leaving this and that. I'm dropping her. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were very offended by what she said, right? So in the class, I came up to her like, "Hey, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be no manager at Burger King. You know what I'm saying? I want more, this and that." And she was like, "Oh, well, you only got two options then, major in finance or accounting." She was like, "I say the accounting, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to take accounting classes anyways if you choose a finance." And I was like, "Cool." And you know what I'm saying? So let's pause right here, right? Let's pause right here. Because a lot of people put their egos, their pride, right, ahead of life, ahead of themselves. And what that means is, right, yourself in 5 years from now, right, it's not the same person you are right now. Meaning everything you do in this exact moment is going to be your life in 5 years. So if you're 25, right, everything you're doing at 25 is going to be your life at 30. So if you're 30 years old and you're unhappy with your life, blame the 25-year-old you, right? And so all that to say is a lot of times we put our in the moment pride and ego above of our growth, right? So at that time I was 18 years old, right? Maybe 19, 18, 19 years old. Where I'm at today, I would not be here if I had that 18, 19-year-old pride, right? I'm 23 years old. And so in that moment, I was able to just soak in, right? If you're offended or this and that, it's it's probably because you weren't able to soak in what someone's saying, right? You have to soak in, dissect it, right? Because we all come from different backgrounds, different environments. We all talk different and everything else. And that's not to say tolerate disrespect if you're truly disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Some people come from genuine places, but just the delivery is horrible, right? Which I think is professor. You know what I'm saying? Not for me, but for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Her classroom, but she's a winner. You know what I'm saying? To be a winner, you can't change, you know what I'm saying, winner mentality to cater to people that aren't winners. You know what I'm saying? If you have some winners in your class, some losers, and majority of just if you a winner, you know what I'm saying, you can't change your winning mentality to, you feel me, coach to someone else. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? It's just you with it or not, and that's kind of how this professor was. And so I talked to her after class, right? And I was just like, I ain't trying to be no manager, ABCD. So she's like, accounting, finance. Obviously, the professor taught accounting. So I was like, boom, I'm going to go to accounting, right? Like, be at this accounting mixer. It was next weekend or weekend after, whatever. I went there. I met a lot of people that graduated Morehouse at just 19 years old that did a lot of amazing things at a young age. Like this one, he's a manager at this consulting firm. This one's at this accounting company. This one is in banking. This one started his own condom company. He nets over 50 million a year. This one, this and that. And so in the span of 10 minutes, I met 10 different people, right? 10 different people, like that fast. And they ain't just normal, whatever. These people are doing amazing things within their lives. And we connected, not just LinkedIn, but we were also able to connect. And in that moment, I was like, oh, I made a great decision. You know what I'm saying? Not only by sticking close to this person and soaking in what they say and what they were able to do and what they were able to offer for me, but also trusting God, right? Because this was God led. Anything you do that's God led is gonna come in fruition, bro. I wish I could tag and shout out bro, but if y'all know bro, y'all shout him out. I seen someone say, right, on Instagram, he was like, right, success is just a seed embedded into us, right? Because we're human beings, right? We were made in God's image, right? And stay with me, stay with me. When you see a bird fly, right, that bird did not have to go to flight school to learn how to fly, right? When you see a flower grow, that flower ain't have to go to gardening school to grow. You know what I'm saying? It did not have to buy no seeds from the store, nothing like that, bro. It was already in them. And that's how we are as human beings. Success is embedded in you, you know what I'm saying? You just have to water, do everything else necessary that comes natural, right? And what's natural, what should be natural in everybody else's life is being God led. Everybody around me that I keep around in my circle is God led. They led by God. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever do anything for yourself. You do everything for what God wants you to do. So if you're making a big life decision, you ask yourself, would God be proud of me doing this right now? If God was right here on this couch with me, would I be doing this? You know what I'm saying? And that's very important. So anything that's God led, right, will lead into success into the end. That's just my personal belief, and that's why I feel it's factual, right? And so all that to say is, right, so I'm here making connections, powerful connections, everything else, and that wasn't it. I was also thrown different internship opportunities, this and that stuff to apply to and everything else. And I was like, my mindset was changing, everything was changing, right? And then pause, right? That's my situation because I eventually changed my concentration to accounting and everything else. I graduated accounting degree. I have a job at an accounting firm, right? And so that was all because of the decision I made at 19, everything else. Trusting, you know what I'm saying? But time out, right? People that say college is a scam, right? You talk to them, you hear their stories, it's much different, right? They went to college thinking, oh, I danced in high school. I want to dance in college, right? If your parents have money and this and that, y'all have something set to where you go to school and do what you want to do and live out your dreams, that's a little different, right? If you are on a thing to where you're going to college, right, for a career, right, to set up and start off in life, to leave that nest, major in something like dance is not that beneficial, right? It's not. Now, there are some people that made it work, right? But I'm a numbers guy, right? Obviously, graduate accountant, right? Is it is it are you gonna be 9 times 10 more successful majoring in stuff that land you positions in health, engineering, right, law, business, right, or stuff like art, dance, things like that? Like I'm not saying not to pursue those things, but no, there's a risk and there's a higher risk choosing path B than it is choosing path A, right? That's all I'm saying. And those that say college is a scam are the ones that chose path B, right? Because if you're not blessed, you know what I'm saying, to have full ride scholarships or this and that, have a lot of scholarship money, or your parents don't have a college fund for you, this and that. If you're coming out of pocket, bro, or you're going in debt, I would think, right? It's like investing, bro. You gotta view it like that. It's not just this is what I'm supposed to do because my parents said so. No, you gotta look at it like it's investing, bro. You're investing in yourself when you go into school, when you're paying for school, trade school, anything, right? You gotta think is is the ROI worth it, right? That's the return on investment. Is that worth it, right? Is that worth this much money, bro? So if you're choosing between schools, right? This school will leave me making 50,000. This school will leave me making 100,000. But this one I'll be this much of debt. This one I'll be. You got to really sit down and do the numbers. You know what I'm saying? How long would it take me to get out of debt going here? How long would it take me to get out of debt doing here? What type of lifestyle would I have here? What type of lifestyle would I have here, right? A lot of people are not told this information or even taught this or even talked to about this stuff, right? So we just go in doing kind of like how I was at first, just not really knowing much, right? And that's okay. That's why you feel me, sharing this with you guys, because it needs to be talked about. It's not talked about enough, right? Because at the end of the day, college is a business, right? Everything is business. When you look around the world, everything's operated on money. Everything is business. Everything is for the gain of the business, anything else. So the same mentality they have when they look at you, right? When you apply, bro, when you put your application in, this and that, bro, you're a customer, right? So you have to have that same view on the world, right? You gotta look at this as an investment opportunity for you, bro. So when you going to school and you partying every night and you getting F's and D's and C's and you emailing professors late at night, hey, can I get extension? Can I? It's an investment, bro, and that's how you treat your investment, bro. That's equivalent to you. Okay, S&P 500, we putting 500 in, we taking that 500 out, we going to Magic City. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what you're doing when you partying, you doing all this stuff and that. Now, if you can manage and everything else, if you can have your fun and still do what you need to do, that's different, right? So college is a scam if you're doing all those things, right? It's like that's like saying investing is a scam. It is a scam if you spending majority of your income on stupid stuff and you only got $50 to put in the S&P 500 every year. Yeah, I think it's a scam too. You could have used that 50 for Starbucks or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about your mentality, bro. You have to change your mentality. So I personally don't believe college is a scam if you utilize it the right way, right? Anything could be negative for you if you utilize it in the wrong way. Anything. Medicine's supposed to help you and better you and everything else. If you use that negatively, you overuse it. You know what I'm saying? That could be bad as well. So college isn't a scam, bro. You just probably majored in something that wasn't beneficial for you. You probably just didn't use your time wisely and everything else. And also, college isn't for everybody, bro. That needs to be emphasized as well. I personally believe the same people that say college is a scam are the same people that blame the world for their problems, right? Me, I made a lot of mistakes in life. I bumped my head millions and numerous times in life, right? And I never blamed the world for my issues, right? I don't like that's victim mentality, bro. You get nowhere being a victim ever. You don't ever get nowhere being a victim. Whoever wants to be a victim, you look at any side of life, nobody wants to be the victim besides victims, and they get a victim lifestyle. Nobody wants a victim lifestyle. When I was ignorant to things, when I lacked things, guess what? It's just like everything's like a game, bro. Everything is like a game. Everything in life is like a game, bro. You might start off with the controller, the RB button don't work. You might start off with Uno with no specialty cards. It's all about how you play your hand, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta play it to the best of your ability, right? Some people might start off better in your life. Some people did. Some people might start off worse than your life. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep a winner mindset, bro, right? If you keep faith in God, bro, it will never feel like you're losing. Ever. Ever. Even if even if you were somewhere where you didn't think you would be, bro, you thought you'd be somewhere better, this and that. Like I said earlier, blame yourself for 5 years ago before, right? Put that on you, man. That make you grind harder. You know what I'm saying? When you're a victim, you give up. You accept defeat. Because life is very hard, right? Life is very harsh. Life gonna hit you with a lot of crazy things, you know what I'm saying? And so when you have this victim mentality, this woe me mentality, you accept defeat, right? When you have a winner mindset, bro, you see the good in everything, even when you don't think it's good. Like right, like an average person, I'm like, what? Because you have a winner mindset, you gonna find a way. Your car broke down, this happened, you got in an accident, um, you didn't get the grade you wanted, you didn't blah blah. All that does is just fuel you. It makes you more hungry. It makes you want more. It makes you grind. Every time anything bad happens, I thank God, bro. Anytime anything good happen, I thank God, bro, because I know it could be 10 times worse, right? Whatever you think your stuff is bad, right? Ask yourself this. And there is a pot, right? God made a pot for every human being in the world. He made a pot where everybody's biggest, deepest, darkest problem. They write it down, they put it in the pot. And God mixed it all up. And he was like, all right now, your problems is bad. You feel like your problems bad. Put your put your paper, your problem in the pot, and he mix it up, and you pick one out. Will you be willing to exchange your problem for someone else's issue? Anybody around the world, right? You complain about you got an F for this and that. You might have to be an extra year in school and everything else. You know what I'm saying? You want to switch your problem out, and then what? You someone in India with no food, nothing to eat. You know what I'm saying? No place to stay. You know what I'm saying? So be careful, right? What we complain about, right? What we feel like we should have, what we feel like we should be. You know what I'm saying? Be thankful, be grateful, because you are where you are. Your problems are what they are. They could be 10 times worse, bro. I promise. It's all about your mentality in the end, right? This is a topic I've been wanting to talk about, right? Right, because it kind of stems from a winner mentality, a victim mentality, and winner mentality, right? Everybody needs to adapt the winner mentality. What the winner mentality, it comes from being able to think independent, right? It comes with being able to go against all odds. It comes with being able to trust in yourself, right? Being able to be like Robert Frost, bro. Choose the path that was less followed by. And in this society, bro, it's very few people like that, right? There'll be propaganda. There'll be different narratives, right, on social media, right? And a lot of people aren't able to, divert from that or see through that, right? And those narratives and everything else, right, are pushed for deeper propaganda and everything else that we're not gonna get into. But as far as like the gender wars that we see, political differences, you know what I'm saying? I'll just leave it at that, right? When you're genuinely happy in life, bro, when you're genuinely happy, when you have a winner mentality, bro, when you're led by God, all the three things we talked about, right? Those things don't matter to you. Those things should not, right? And what I mean is, like, it be some stuff like a man can't do this and that, men always do this and that, or it be posts like women can't do this, women always this and that, women always do this and that, you know what I'm saying? When you genuinely happy, you don't feed into that. That don't mean nothing to you, right? That don't mean that you don't follow stuff like that, right? Because it, like, say you got a girlfriend and everything else, right? Say you got a girlfriend, or if you're a female, say you have a boyfriend, right? And they genuinely believe this stuff that's pushed, right? Because all this stuff is just made to be in the algorithm. And when the algorithm, they get them more views. It's a business. Everything in life is a business. These pages that post this crazy stuff and everything else, they might go home to a happy wife. They might go home to a happy husband with kids and everything else, be posting toxic stuff and everything else, because toxic stuff will always get in the algorithm. If I was on screen right now talking to y'all about some negative stuff, I'll get much more views than what I'm about to get right now. That's just real. That's life, right? Everything that's sinful, everything that's bad, right? We're in the devil's playground. Anything that's sinful, anything that's bad is gonna get more views. It's gonna bring more money. It's gonna bring more everything that's worldly, right? All that to say, you led by God. Winner mentality. That stuff don't do nothing to you, right? Me and my friends, when we be talking, bro, everything we say is faith driven. Everything we say is God oriented. Everything we say, you know what I'm saying, with the winner mentality, bro. That type of stuff don't even get in our conversations, bro. If you follow the Shade Room, Justin LeBoy, anything like that, I guarantee you will not be able to sit in the room with me and my friends. You will not be able to be in the room with me and my colleagues, me and my associates, anything like that. Anything in the realm of my, you know what I'm saying, my life and everything else, I keep myself around my circle, anything else, you would not be able to keep up. Well, why are we sitting up on social media arguing about Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson? Why does that matter to you? You know what I'm saying? All that is, it's a gender war. Well, she's this and that. Well, he this and that. Well, we know this and that. What does that mean? That don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying, right? Because the same people posting these ones, the same ones making these posts, they going about their business. They going about their day. The same one these posts are about. They going about their day. They going about their business. But what is this? What are you doing? You arguing with your friend, your significant other about something that don't matter, right? Your girl, she respond as you should, and all that stuff, bro. That ain't it. That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? That is not it, right? We have to be able to identify, right, these different things that are pushed at us, all these different toxic, worldly things that are pushed at us, right? And we should be able to ignore these things, right? We need to ignore these things because the same ones, right, that are so invested in this toxic stuff are the same ones that say college is a scam. These are the same ones that judge life, that are mad about where they are in their life, right? And it's very funny because they have a different side to them too. The same ones, right, when they're vulnerable and they mad about where they are, this one did them wrong, that one did them wrong, you don't know their life, you don't know they struggle, you don't know this and that, right? The same ones that are saying this, right, are the same ones that be in someone's comment section talking about they make X amount of money, they rich, they got this, they happy, they this and that. You overcompensating, right? And I'm telling you, I'm giving you the recipe how to be happy in life. Adapt the winner mentality, bro. Be led by God, bro. Do everything under God, cause God didn't tell you to go to Miami, bro. God did not tell you to go to Miami. You feel me? I'm not God, right? I can't tell you what he said for sure, but I know for a fact he ain't tell you to go to Miami, blow $1 million, right? blow what $1 million is for you, right? You went to Miami with $1,000, bro, but you lying in the comments somewhere talking about you got $1 million, right? I know God did not tell you to pick up that ARP, bro, and walk people down. I know God didn't tell you that, right? You know what I'm saying? I know God did not tell you to drop out of school and become a bottle girl, bro. I know God did not tell you this. So I'm saying all these different scenarios and everything else, right? Cause I might be speaking to somebody, right? You meet some dangerous people, right? You meet some scary people in the world, bro. And the scariest people ever, the scariest people to me are the people that would tell you God told them to do something they know dang well he ain't tell them to do. And so that's my piece, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Lord, reveal the truth of what my brother say. You can't pray for change when deep inside you remain the same. Shackled as I wanna be, yet I find me still in chains. From the land I